Hello, and salutations, my friends. Today I'll be presenting you all with my review of The Adventure of NAYU, and this game was developed and published by Ambi on January 19th, 2021. This game has you playing as NAYU, a cute little fox girl who signs up for the Doki Doki Adventure Tour, which is a simulated journey organized by a fairy called Lug, I think. I think that's her name. And this takes place in a nearby forest to give a taste of adventure in a peaceful world. To go into the game's story, it's fairly simple. Due to starting off as a guided adventure, the early portion of the game is focused on the feel of an adventure, but it goes a bit wrong when NAYU and Lug encounter an enemy that wasn't entirely planned. And this event causes you to run away and eventually become lost inside of the forest. And this is where you meet a few other characters and the real adventure starts to begin. Obviously, I can't talk about the whole story here, as the game is quite short and they'll just be talking about the whole game, but I have to say that the storyline itself is short and sweet. It's very basic, but really cute, and I'd say that it works really well as a way to just unwind and pass the time. And the dialogue is pleasant, and the characters, despite being somewhat tropey, just end up being surprisingly endearing with the game's brief playtime. Now, to go a bit into the gameplay, it's pretty simple at its core, just like the story. It's an idle clicker where you actually can turn off the clicking entirely and still progress through the game, even if you don't lift a finger. Clicking just acts as a way to speed up things and move through the adventure a bit faster if you want to be more engaged in the gameplay. And each time you defeat one of the enemies you encounter, you earn these things called star shards. And these star shards are your main currency, and you use them to train your party, unlock a whole wardrobe of cute costumes, and you could also snag some stat bonuses to make NAYU even more capable in her battles. And once you've defeated a certain number of these enemies within a round of battles, you'll see how much you leveled up, and you can simply move on to the next area of the story. And yep, that's the core gameplay loop right there. You either click or don't click, defeat your enemies, earn shards, level up, and move on. And for those looking for a little something extra, once you complete the main story mode, you unlock an endless mode where you can just keep battling to your heart's content to farm more of the star shards for achievements, or just to see how far you can go. There's also a bonus minigame called Path to the Cheese, which, as the name suggests, involves collecting cheese in a way that's very similar to Flappy Bird, but with its own little quirks if that interests you. As for what I personally think about the gameplay, I found it to be surprisingly relaxing. But that's because you're barely doing anything most of the time. The fact that you can literally just let it run on autopilot even though it's such a short game is a bit odd to me. This may be a plus for those looking for something truly relaxing and mindless, but I tend to prefer to actually do things in the games I play. And honestly, it doesn't really feel like much of a game in the traditional sense. Everything feels very trivialized, and the enemies don't even attack you when you're hitting them, which basically means you're fighting training dummies throughout the entire adventure. Leveling up also feels more like hitting an arbitrary number than a significant progression. I guess this isn't the worst thing ever, since the game definitely doesn't outlive its welcome, as you can finish it in under an hour, but I still would have loved to see slightly more involved mechanics to really complement the charming universe created by the visuals, music, and the lovely characters. And another minor thing that I noticed during these battles is that your party members often have little snippets of dialogue about the monsters that you're facing. However, you're usually defeating them so quickly that you probably don't even have a chance to fully read or appreciate everything that they have to say most of the time, which I thought was a bit disappointing. However, shifting into the game's artistic presentation, I have to say this game is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, the art style is what made me get this game in the first place, and if the game didn't look this good, then I probably wouldn't have even given this title the light of day. Everything about this game is just undeniably cute and aesthetically pleasing, and I think the characters were charmingly designed, and the enemies are endearing, and the landscapes are just lovely and cozy to look at. The whole game is just a visual treat. And the sound effects in this game do exactly what they need to do, and they do it well also. They're fitting for the actions and sound just right without being too loud or distracting. And the music is also wonderful, as it creates this lovely, whimsical, and carefree vibe that perfectly matches the game's tone, and the music paired with the other aspects of the game helps make the game really feel like a gentle stroll through a child's imagination of what an adventure would be, where there's never really any danger. As for achievement hunting, this is a super chill and easy completion. This game is incredibly straightforward with getting all achievements in, much like completing the main game itself. It's more a matter of how long it takes you to unlock everything, rather than how difficult it is to do so. The closest thing to a slightly more involved achievement would be collecting all the stamps in the game, but even that mostly just requires playing through the content. And while I personally prefer achievements that add a bit more depth or make you explore different aspects of the game, there's definitely something to be said for a game that offers quick and easy 100% completion rates every now and then. And it's a nice little completion boost to your Steam account. So overall, I think that The Adventure of NAYU presents a genuinely charming and cozy little experience with incredibly simple gameplay and its absolutely adorable artistic presentation. The short, sweet, and cute storyline, along with the lovely characters, makes it a good way to unwind and spend a little bit of time in a gentle and pleasant world. And while the core gameplay might be a bit too passive for someone like me who prefers more active engagement, and there also being a lack of any real challenge, the game succeeds in creating a pleasant experience that doesn't overstay its welcome. It's an easy game to recommend if you're looking for something light and carefree. So due to these factors, I'll be giving The Adventure of NAYU a 4 out of 5 for casual players and a 5 out of 5 for completionists. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Adventure of NAYU, and hopefully they were an effective explanation on my experience with this charming little adventure and what it has to offer. And if you have any further questions or want to share your thoughts on the game, feel free to just leave them in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, then liking it would help me a ton, and I encourage you to subscribe for more content like this. But for now, I'm off, and take care everyone.